Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another music review. And in the last music review, I kind of alluded to the fact that I would be doing another artist who has an album coming out, but they're also kind of a golden age artist, which is going to transition us back into that golden age period that I wanted to talk about. And I think at this time, his album is actually supposed to be coming out October 21st, and I think Unspoken's album is already out. So if I get the chance, I don't know. Financial situation's a little tight right now, so I don't know if I'll be able to get a chance to get the Unspoken album immediately. If I do, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, I'm just going to stick with the music that I have right now. But anyway, moving on to this guy. So, I'll just go ahead and say it's Chris Tomlin. Chris Tomlin is one of my personal favorite music artists ever. I did not know that he was going to be releasing an album, so when I found that out in the little Lifeway brochure, I was just surprised. I never knew that he was in the studio recording at all. I'd never heard anything, so it was a nice little surprise. Um, So going back, I'm going to look at. I don't have Chris's original album. Well, okay, let me clarify this for a second. He had a couple of independent albums that nowadays you can't find. I happen to have one of them, authentic, but I don't know if I'm going to review that one or not. I might, but as far as his first official like studio album, The Noise We Make, I don't have that one. Um, However, I do have starting from his second album up, so that's what I'm going to start with. And his second album is Not to Us. So this one was written back in 2002, was produced by Sparrow Records, and Chris. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, Chris is a he's first in a long line of Sparrow Records people. It just seems like some a lot of the really good or more known artists seem to come from Sparrow Records. So um, I'm gonna get through this one really quick because there's only 10 tracks on this album, and they're they have a common theme to them, sort of. So it hopefully will not take us long to get through them. First of all, track one, Everything That's Beautiful. Um, the music drowns out the lyrics in this one. They really do. Like you can tell in the chorus, especially. It's the first verse makes no sense. I mean, it kind of does, but there's no connection with the chorus or the even the channel leading to the chorus. I mean, he's just singing in like stuff, and it's like if you think long and hard you can make the connection, but there's nothing in the song that makes the connection, so it makes it seem like it just stands out and has no place in the song whatsoever. The song is about how all good things come from God, and you know it just if it wasn't for the music drowning out the lyrics, it just I'd be okay with this song, but it just I don't know, something about it just really just doesn't work well with me. Track two, on the other hand, I enjoy very much. This is Enough. This is my favorite song on the album. Um, the music on this one much better balanced. It works out very well. Uh, Kind of heavy guitar, but it works really well with this rendition of the song. It's about how having God is more than enough to get through life. It's I think probably aside from Forever, which was on The Noise We Make, I think Enough was like one of the earliest songs to ever get put on the radio from Chris, so that was pretty cool. So, track three, Not to Us. There's a steady beat to this one. This could, possibly make for a good dance song. It's about how God and not us deserves the glory. Obviously, this is the or it's the title track, is what I meant to say. But again, this stuff has got good stuff going on musically. It's just, well, I'll get to it later. Let me move on. Track 4, Wonderful Maker. So this one's got like a vocal rhythmic pattern that really just doesn't mesh with the guitar very well in the first verse. Just for whatever reason, it just sounds awkward to me. The song's about how wonderful God is, and on paper, I guess it qualifies as a good song. I mean, the fact that it stays to Christian roots, I guess, like by default, makes it a good song. But this one just really doesn't impress me all that much. Maybe it's a bad phrase to use that a Christian song doesn't impress you, but it just doesn't impress me. It really doesn't. Track 5, Famous One. This has got like a 6/8 feel to it, so it's nice. It's a nice little change of pace. Again, though, the softer verses really don't complement the chorus, because the chorus is like nice and full, projecting, and the verses just, I can understand, maybe being softer on the verses, but they go too soft on the verses. It doesn't create a good balance. The chorus, though, I like. The chorus is good. Phrasing is the vocal phrasing is a little awkward, but it grows on you. It's a song of praise that is acknowledging God. That having been said, though, there's a couple other people I know of that do this, in calling God famous or the famous one or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just not really keen on that identity. I mean, God, yes. God does everything for His glory. I understand that, but there's a difference between doing things. I think there's a difference between God doing things that are for His glory, and then what we equate to people being famous. It's just like, I don't know. I just don't think it's a very good comparison myself. But maybe I'm reading too much into it. You guys can let me know if you want. But anyway, let's move on to track 6. Come Let Us Worship. This one it's an invitation to praise God, is what it is, and this one's okay. Again, pretty good musically. For this one, I just don't really feel like you go anywhere. It kind of like builds up, starts to build up in the chorus, and then it just drops. Like it. I felt incredibly unsatisfied listening to it. I honestly, oh, this album has just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it a little bit more later. Let me get through the songs. The River is track 7, and assuming the river is Christ, because I'm pretty sure you can't make a distinction that it's anything else, but just in case, assuming that the river is Christ, the song is about how He has always been there, and singer is going to let the river, aka Christ, cleanse him. This one has got pretty good music. Probably it's not as good as Enough, obviously, but its vocals, I think, probably are better than some of the other ones on the album. Track 8 is Unchanging. So you got drums and some kind of weird riff starting. I couldn't tell if it was guitar or if it was some kind of weird thing going on with the keyboard, but that's what starts off the song. And it's another declaration of praise, but this one comes from the fact that God is unchanging. And what's interesting about this one is like right before the second chorus, it almost sounds like there's a xylophone, like somebody's taking xylophone mallets and like on the upper end of the xylophone doing like this kind of like just going back and forth on the higher end of it. It's interesting. I don't know if that's what it is or not, but that's what it sounds like. Track 9, Come Home Running. So there's pretty good bit of Prodigal Son references in this one. I don't really have a lot to say about this one. It's basically it's about come back to Jesus when you stray. Basically, it's slow. I guess this one would be pretty good for praise teams, but I mean, I don't have a whole lot of bad comments. I just really don't have any comments for this one. It is what it is. And finally, the last song, Overflow. This song kind of simultaneously thanks Jesus for what he did and is also, in a sense, kind of committing to the future for what Jesus is going to do and that kind of thing. So it's a good song. I mean, a lot of the songs are okay on this. They seem, I guess by just things that I've reviewed before, kind of average. I mean, Chris. The thing about it is that Chris started off his career pretty much being more like a praise and worship kind of guy, and then eventually started to become like a different element altogether. And this is what we're seeing with this. So it's like, so I look back on it. Maybe if I, had reviewed it around the time when it came out, then maybe I might be singing a different tune, or like a slightly less harsh tune. But even still, at the same time, just standing alone though, this album kind of has its problems. And knowing especially nowadays what Chris is eventually going to become in his career, this album is very, very conservative. It's not like, it's not like god awful, just like can't listen to, but it's incredibly conservative, especially for Chris. It's almost in a sense like somebody is trying to create a tribute or impersonation of Chris or something. I mean, it just, with the exception of Enough, and even then a little bit, it's just not typical Chris Tomlin. It's like it's so obscure. Musically, as I said, like musically, it sounds very good. It's just I have a problem for whatever reason they don't match with the vocals or they don't match with the lyrics or something. And it's like, it just doesn't have that typical Chris Tomlin feel to it. And songs that do we'll get to whenever I review other albums, but I'll give you something for in context up to this point. Forever was already out. Forever was on The Noise We Make. I think I mentioned that earlier. It was already out, and I love the song enough, but where's a song like Forever, that upbeat, just sheer unadulterated praise? I mean, like there's praise songs on here, but they're very laid back. They're very conservative, which is not all bad. But where's my bouncy dance song? And Forever kind of sparked that. Forever has become one of the most popular praise and worship songs ever, and that's the kind of feel it has. Where's a song like that on this album? It's not there. I don't want to, and don't get me wrong too, I don't want to put the songs down too much, but something about this album just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is, but so that being the case, I'm going to give it a 2.9 out of 5. Check out Enough for sure, and go ahead and listen to the others. You may like them better than me, and if you do, that's cool. But even if you do like them, there are better Chris Tomlin albums out there to be sure, and that I don't think you can actually debate with me on, and when we get to them, and trust me, I have every intention of getting to them eventually, you're going to see some really, really good just music in general, and then when you add to the fact that it's Christian music on top of that, it just makes something special. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Not entirely sure who I'm going to review next. I have a couple of ideas. There's just one group in particular that I've kind of been wanting to review for a while, so I might get them next. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this music review. If you haven't been able to tell already, my favorite track on this album is Enough. I've got some other ones that are okay musically, but I mean, that's really the biggest one that I could recommend, and it's just an absolutely beautiful song. So, guys, yeah, please, leave comments if you're watching this on YouTube. Send me emails at kudaexpressions@gmail.com, and I'll take a look at them, maybe write back to you. Who knows? But anyway, I've got I'm going to be working on some drum videos too. I know I haven't put them out in a while. So I got some ideas that I'm gonna do for that. I'm gonna work on that. I might even work them in conjunction with the next review. You never know. But for now, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope you guys will come back for the next one. And if you do, I will see you then.